Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
After temperatures near record highs yesterday, a northeasterly flow brings chilly air, and then our next weather maker brings some rain. We'll walk you through what's coming.
And we are talking about the holiday travel rush. AAA predicts this is going to be a busy day for people who are driving and flying. What you need to know before you head out. Plus, a house fire in Durham. Teams were called to that scene on South Alston Avenue this morning. We'll talk about the problems that firefighters faced while trying to put out the flames. Well, thanks for joining me this morning here on WRAL News on Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovegood. Hopefully you had a fun, safe Christmas. You had a little food, had some presents to open up, and an overall good time. Now, the honeymoon's kind of over because the next weather maker is on its way, and meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is tracking what that could bring for us next week.
Yes, that next weather maker will bring us our next best chance for rain, and we're going to see a big temperature roller coaster between now and then. Yesterday's high was 72. Today will be much cooler. We do have gray skies, as you can see as we take a live look here over Garner. Temperature 39 up in South Hill, but 52 in Southern Pine. So a wide range right now, but the chilly air that's to our north and east will be filtering in across our area all day, and that will keep our temperatures much colder than yesterday. In the Triangle, at lunchtime, 47, and at 5 o'clock, 48 degrees. But again, no rain really to worry about. Just as quickly as we cool down today, our front will lift northward and allow the warmth to come back in for Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk about what the temperatures will feel like coming up.
Now let's talk about the traffic situation. I-440 near Glenwood Avenue. Not looking too bad. You'll see it froze there for just a little bit, but it looks like it's continuing to move along. AAA, as I was talking about, predicts this to be the busiest travel day between now and New Year. So keep that in mind while you're out there on the road, and we'll let you know about any potential trouble spots on 101.5 HD3. Or actually, WRAL's Ali Kavdabar is tracking the busy holiday rush this morning. She's been kind of hanging out at that Sheetz near RDU. Ali, I know you've been seeing people kind of going in, going out. I mean, what's the vibe kind of been there since you've been at Sheetz this morning?
I've spoken to some travelers, Chris, here at the Sheetz, and it's pretty quiet so far. And I did speak with one group. They were on their way from Franklin County, actually, and they were going to RDU to take a flight. They say that they started their trip early, didn't hit any traffic, and that's because AAA recommends that you should hit the road before 11 a.m. and then after 8 p.m. So that's the prime time when you should be out on the road because it's just going to get congested throughout the day. It's going to be the busiest day. That's predicted by AAA. AAA says that of the 4 million North Carolinians that traveled, 90% of them are expected to be road trips. They're expecting to see that traffic pick up today. AAA recommends hitting the roads between 10 and after 8 tonight.
It'll be busy pretty much all day as people are returning home. If your travel plans allow you to leave early in the morning or late in the evening, I'd say that's when you'd probably have at least, I'd say a little less traffic, but it's going to be busy out there.
Now, AAA also recommends to avoid busy areas like the airport and metro areas, tourist spots as well. And that's when you could see some heavy congestion. Also, just a few tips. If you are hitting the roads today, check those tires, air filters, battery, all of those things, and make sure you stay safe on the roads. Reporting live in Morrisville, Ali Kavdabar, WRAL News.
Now, let's talk about gas prices, right? If you're going to be heading out, maybe returning some gifts to the store. AAA is showing gas in Raleigh is roughly $2.76 a gallon on average. In Wilmington, that's $2.78, and in Asheville, $2.71. Today will be another busy day at RDU as well for those of you who are flying. So far this morning, it looks like there have been 13 cancellations at RDU. Nationwide, there are more than 1,500 flight delays. I mean, we started the morning with maybe 400 at 4:30 over on WRAL, and now 1,500? Goodness. We'll be sure to keep an eye on those numbers as parts of the U.S. deal with severe weather during this busy travel season. You can count on WRAL to help you navigate holiday travel this week and into your new year. Keep track of flight disruptions, traffic, and weather conditions through the WRAL News app. It's free to download. This morning, Durham firefighters faced challenges while tackling a large vacant house fire on Alston Avenue. This picture right here shows you just how severe the flames were at one point. The division chief says they struggled to find working fire hydrants nearby. They eventually found one, though, and were able to pull water from it to contain the fire. At last check, no one was hurt and no one was inside during the time of the fire, but we are working to find out the cause of that fire. A Walmart in Wilson is reopening today after a shooting on Christmas Eve. That shooting happened after a fight broke out inside the store barbershop. Sky 5 was above that. We brought that to you as breaking news. Police say 3 people were involved in this. Bystanders got involved to help disarm one of these people, but no injuries were reported. 19-year-old Ashton Pittman and 30-year-old Jordan Battle are facing attempted murder charges. Both are being held without bond and are due in court on Monday. A person is seriously hurt after a shooting in Wake County. That happened around 7 last night on Simpkins Road near Raleigh. It's near Lake Wheeler Road if you're familiar. Video from the WRAL breaking news tracker shows law enforcement vehicles at that scene, and Wake County deputies found a man who was shot, but no word yet on if there are any suspects or even arrests. We're trying to get new information this morning about a crash in Nash County that killed a driver. That happened at 9:30 last night on US 264 East in Middlesex, near the Bailey exit. Highway Patrol says the driver lost control and then hit a median, and then the car crashed into trees and even caught fire. Troopers are still trying to identify the victim. Today, friends and family members of former North Carolina Governor Jim Hunt will gather to remember him at his funeral. That funeral will be First Presbyterian Church of Wilson this afternoon. That's the location. Hunt served as governor of North Carolina from 1977 to 85, and then again from 93 to 2001. Some of his achievements include his focus on programs for public schools, and he also played a key role in expanding Research Triangle Park. A book of condolences is available for people to sign at the state capitol, and that's through Friday. Next Friday, that is. A Johnson County community is mourning after a father and son were killed in a house fire. This is a story we first brought to you as breaking news yesterday morning. Investigators say a 74-year-old man and his 53-year-old son were killed in that fire. This was on Red Oak Drive near Wilson's Mills. A woman identified as the son's stepmother managed to escape, and a man who lived next door, they saw the flames. Now, he didn't want to have his face on camera, but he did describe the family as caring neighbors.
They're very kind folk. They help us out a lot. We help them, they help us. Count your blessings today, because tomorrow is not promised.
No, it is not. At this point, investigators are still trying to figure out how the fire started, but they haven't released the names of the men who died. We know now the name of a man who died after a car hit and killed him in Raleigh yesterday morning. Police say that Daniel Zacharias died at the hospital, and officers say that a driver hit him. That was at the intersection of Tryon Road and Dillard Drive yesterday morning. They say Zacharias was running in the middle of the road while wearing dark clothes. If you didn't know, there aren't any streetlights in that area. Police have not, though, filed any charges at this time. Millions of people in California are under a state of emergency as a powerful storm carrying a strong atmospheric river is slamming the state. I mean, you'll see right here, this was the scene yesterday in the town of Palmdale. This is not too far from LA. Several communities are under an evacuation order because of the risk of life-threatening flooding. In areas where the floodwaters have receded, people are finding buried cars, toppled buildings, and blocked roads.
Everything was flooded. It was insane. Like, cars had to stop in the middle because of how flooded it was. And well, yeah, it was just really crazy and hectic.
The National Weather Service is warning of even more flooding and strong winds in northern and southern California. Flooding is also creating problems for Waymo's driverless taxis. The second time in a week that fleet has come to a standstill. The company temporarily paused service on Christmas, and that was because of flash flood warnings in the area. This also happened not long after Waymo robo-taxis were stopped in their tracks during a power outage in the city. Waymo said it's now updating its fleet programming to better handle such disruptions in the future. The U.S. has carried out several airstrikes in Africa. President Donald Trump says that he ordered attacks against people in Nigeria accused of being part of the Islamic State and killing Christians in the country. The president says the strikes were deadly, but did not elaborate on how many people were killed. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. had the Nigerian government leadership support on this. Meanwhile, a U.S. naval cargo ship was seen docking in Puerto Rico, and this is happening as the U.S. continues to build up a massive military force in the Caribbean. That includes an aircraft carrier, fighter jets, and other warships. In recent months, the U.S. has carried out more than 24 strikes on vessels in the Pacific and the Caribbean. All of this has been part of growing pressure from Washington on the government of Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro. We are learning new information about what led up to the Cary town manager being asked to resign. In a blog post, Cary Mayor Harold Weinbrecht says the now former town manager went around council to make a large land purchase. Sean Stiegel had the authority to spend up to $1 million before needing to go before the town council. The mayor says Stiegel bought property that exceeded that value. However, and this is key, he says the town manager split it into 2 purchases, and that way he could avoid crossing the $1 million threshold. Weinbrecht also says he initiated a review of Stiegel after learning the town spent more than $25,000 on a council member's tuition. But I want to be clear, Councilwoman Lori Bush repaid that money. Stiegel resigned earlier this month after getting put on leave, and the state auditor's office is now reviewing that situation. Your time is 8:10 this morning. We're talking about protecting your new gifts. The thing is, there's a warning from law enforcement about why you should think twice about how you throw away any gift boxes this year. And we do want to step outside to give you a live look at Fenton and Cary this morning. There is still plenty of time over the weekend to enjoy festive fun after Christmas, which is why we're going to dive into what you can do during Out and About.
And you'll notice this afternoon much cooler than yesterday. Yesterday's high 72, looking at 40s through this afternoon. Also tracking the next weather maker. I'll show you when rain arrives again. 8:13, taking a look at what's happening out there. Temperatures are cool, 46 in Durham and Raleigh, and in Fayetteville, 51 degrees. So we're looking at, again, some fairly comfortable conditions for now, but we won't end up seeing temperatures warming up at all. Yesterday, our high temperature was 72, so this is going to be a little weather whiplash with 40s this afternoon. Lots of cloud cover in our forecast, too. These numbers are how much of the sky is covered in clouds at those specific hours. So anywhere from around 80 to almost 95% of the sky covered in clouds for today, but our chance for rain is really minimal. If you're out walking the dog, even in the middle of the afternoon, it's going to feel pretty chilly, especially with the clouds. We'll be in the upper 40s for this afternoon. Jumping ahead to the big holiday, we just had one, and now we got to look ahead to New Year's Eve. Right now, it looks like daytime temperatures will be near normal. Overnight lows are in the 20s, but around midnight, we should still be in the mid-30s.
Traffic-wise, let's go ahead and step outside and see what it looks like currently on I-87 and at Lizard Lake Road there. We'll still see plenty of vehicles out right now, though it's going to be slightly busier today than it was yesterday. Obviously, people home with families yesterday, but you probably have to get out there, get those gifts that maybe you need to return to the stores, and you may be even in the car right now. So this is why you should keep us tuned in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. A local man found himself playing Santa this holiday season after he found undelivered mail on the side of the road. I want to show you video of Colin Paragoy with these packages. He's trying to stop a FedEx driver as they pass. This happened on Christmas Eve in Cumberland County, and he says most of that mail, it turns out, was medicine. He contacted FedEx but was told the packages could not be picked up until today at the earliest. But he knew these packages could not wait that long, which is why he spent all night contacting numbers on the labels, and then when people arrived to pick them up, they called it a Christmas miracle.
I'm going on vacation Saturday, and I wouldn't have been able to get it shipped, and then I don't even know what I'd have to do if I had to go 2 weeks without my medicine.
I felt like I needed to take control and try to basically get these packages delivered.
He also says only 2 packages have not been delivered yet, but he hopes to fix that pretty soon. We have reached out to FedEx to find out more about their protocol for when mail falls off trucks. We're just waiting to hear back from them. All right, so you might want to think twice before you throw away that Christmas present box, right, that came in, or maybe posting about it online. Law enforcement says that showing off any of that shiny new thing that you may have may make you a target for post-holiday theft. WRAL's Elizabeth Holmes has tips for how you can keep your family safe from this.
If you're lucky, your holiday mail made it just in time for Christmas. But how you toss out those shipping boxes, labels, and wrapping paper may make you a target for thieves. Sergeant Wallace O'Neill with the Wake County Sheriff's Office says robbers can scout out who has designer items or nice electronics by looking in the trash.
When you discard your package, take the label off it. It gives any type of identifying information on it, your name, address. If you got your possible phone number on it, take all that off. Discard it somewhere else other than with the box.
AAA says more than 100 million Americans will be traveling by car between now and New Year's. If you're not careful carrying your gifts, your back seat can be a gold mine for thieves.
Don't leave any packages anywhere that's visible in the car. Don't leave a package in your passenger seat where people can walk by it and easily see in it. If you're going to leave it in your car, leave it in like your trunk where it's secured and nobody can see what's in the trunk.
If you're taking to the skies, sharing your itinerary online could show thieves that you're not home.
Some people like to post everything they do with social media. Don't post that, hey, I'm going to be out of town for the weekend, or I'll see y'all in a week. Don't post any of that. You're just setting yourself up to be an easy target.
Sergeant O'Neill says getting a camera for your home may be the best Christmas gift to stop someone from stealing.
A lot of people have video cameras at the house, like Ring and Arlo. So sometimes we can get pictures that way. So sometimes it can be a little tricky to track everybody down.
Elizabeth Holmes, WRAL News.
Now, if you are planning to return any of your gifts this year, you're kind of running out of time, depending on where you shop, right? At Walmart, most items purchased between October 1st and December 31st can be returned until January 31st, with some exceptions for, electronics, maybe some third-party marketplace sellers type stuff. And then for Amazon, most items bought between November 1st and December 31st can be returned until the end of January. But then you got items like Apple products, perishables, even customized goods. They tend to have shorter windows or aren't even returnable. At Macy's, they allow returns on most items bought between early October and December 31st, but can be returned until January 31st of next year. But here's the deal. We got a full breakdown of the store policies and what you should know before you make your return over on WRAL.com. Now, while most are spending time with family today, dozens of volunteers were out at the city market to help people in need. For 21 years, Mary Brown has been organizing that event to help people who are less fortunate during Christmas. A free meal and other necessities were available to warm up people's holiday spirits. And all the food and clothing and other items were donated. Well, the Denver Broncos got the job done last night as they pushed to clinch the AFC West. The Broncos were on the road to play the Kansas City Chiefs. Quarterback Bo Nix led his team with a touchdown through the air and one on the ground. The Broncos beat the Chiefs 20-13, and they have now won 12 of their last 13 games. And we've got two big NFL games happening this Sunday right here on Fox 50. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are headed to Miami. Panthers fans will be rooting for the Dolphins, though, to improve Carolina's chances to make the playoffs. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. And then you got the Buffalo Bills hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Kickoff in Buffalo for that game is at 4:25. But do not forget, turn over to WRAL for Sunday Night Football. Why, you ask? Well, you've got the Chicago Bears taking on the 49ers. Kickoff for that game is set for 8:20. Christmas may be over, but there are plenty of activities around our area through the new year. Let's take a look and out and about. Apex is glowing for the holidays with its annual holiday tour of lights. That runs nightly through December 31st from 6 to 9. That self-guided tour includes festive displays at homes and businesses across town. It also includes mapped routes to make the most of your drive after dark. Then you got a live look at Fenton and Cary this morning. What's going on there, you say? Well, Fenton Skate the Square is still in full swing. That festive pop-up ring welcomes skaters of all ages every day. There are both general admission tickets and season passes available for purchase. Special discounts are available on certain days, kind of depends on when. The skating season lasts until February 8th. And then a magical run at the Durham Performing Arts Center gets started on Sunday. The production of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child will be at the DPAC. That show will run all the way through January 11th. Tickets are available online, and for more weekend best bets, you can go to WRAL.com and search Out and About. But you might be wondering, okay, a lot of that stuff sounds awesome. What will it look like outside? Let's ask Elizabeth. Elizabeth?
It's going to be cloudy out there, but it's going to be fine. It'll be very festive. Temperatures are going to feel much cooler than they did yesterday. You can see here at RDU, gray skies. Probably a few people heading out to the airport, probably a lot more people heading out to shop. So we're going to see these gray skies everywhere. It's currently 46 degrees. Temperatures will hold in the mid-40s up until around lunchtime. We only climb a few degrees this afternoon. What a difference from yesterday. We have a front. These fronts this time of year can really change things up dramatically. So So our front now is to our south, allowing all the chilly air to spill in. Tomorrow it lifts back to the north and lets all that warmth come right back into our area. Town by town, currently temperatures are in the 40s and 50s, 46 in Durham, 51 in Fayetteville, 45 in Garner, 43 degrees in Rocky Mount. In the planner for this afternoon, we have just a chance of a sprinkle. If anything falls, it will be probably not even measurable in the rain gauges. Again, expect those upper 40s this afternoon under cloudy skies. If you have the chance to get outside, you're going to want that jacket and or sweater maybe that you got for Christmas. Our next weather maker comes in on Monday. It will be windy with this. Ahead of the front, our wind is out of the southwest, so it's going to be a warm day Monday. But behind this system, it turns much cooler. Monday's going to be our best chance for rain all week. There may be a lot of travelers on Monday as we get back a little bit closer to normal. I know people are still off next week for the New Year's holiday. That front is right now back here across the west, bringing a lot of rain to California, some flooding, some heavy snow there as well. For us, we're going to see our cold front swinging through on Monday. Once it gets here, it won't have as much moisture associated with it. We'll see afternoon and evening showers with that, and the amounts are going to be very light. Temperatures will be warm Saturday, Sunday, and Monday before a cool down next week.
Traffic-wise, we're still keeping an eye on the road conditions out there as we look at I-440 near Glenwood Avenue. Plenty of vehicles still out there for the time being. I know a lot of people are out there likely getting those presents that maybe they need to return. So if you want to know if there are any potential trouble spots that pop up while you're out there driving, keep us tuned in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. Your time is 8:23, unusually warm. Why scientists say the climbing temperatures this Christmas could actually become more common.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Hey, good morning. Your time is 8:26. I'm Chris Lovingood. Let's get you started on your weather forecast before you head out the door with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner.
It's a great start out there this morning, and that is not going to change through the day. The big thing that changes today compared to yesterday is the temperature. We had a cold front slip southward overnight last night. That's allowing all that cool air to come in. So right now it's 44 in Wake Forest, 47 in Apex, 48 in Fuquay Varina. We're looking at chilly temperatures remaining all day, though. You know, yesterday we climbed into the low 70s in the Triangle. Here we are in the upper 40s, so that's going to be a big change for us. Festival of Lights is on tonight. It will be cloudy and cool temperatures in the mid-40s.
Traffic-wise, we're still keeping our eyes on the road for any potential trouble spots. Right now, you're looking live at I-40 and Carytown Boulevard as more vehicles are hitting the road, though not as many during a normal day. I mean, it's just the holidays, right? But people are returning their packages and such. If any other traffic issues were to pop up this morning, we'll be sure to report it here on WRAL. This morning, Durham firefighter teams were faced with challenges regarding this large vacant house fire in Alston Avenue. The division chief says they struggled to find working fire hydrants nearby, but eventually did find one and was able to remove some water from it in order to contain the fire. No one was hurt and no one was inside. And a person is seriously injured after a shooting in Wake County. That happened around 7 last night on Simpkins Road near Raleigh. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows law enforcement vehicles at that scene. You'll see that right here on your screen. There's no word just yet on if there are any suspects or any arrests in this case. Next on Fox 50, what you need to know before you return home from your holiday plans. And coming up on today, your travel trends for 2026.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
And we have been following this developing story. There was a house fire in Durham. We'll talk about the challenge firefighters were facing while trying to put the flames out.
And it was a nice warm day yesterday. Not so today. I'll show you why temperatures will drop into the 40s and how long they'll stay there.
And headed back home. Today is expected to be one of the busiest holiday travel days. What to expect if you need to make a trip via air or on the road. Hey, thanks for joining me this morning on WRAL News and Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingood. Hopefully you had a fun, safe Christmas. I hope you had enough time with family to enjoy yourself, but you probably are going to be heading out, maybe making some returns, or maybe you have some other plans today. Well, to get you started on your weather forecast and what to expect, we got Lizzie G here.
Hey, yeah, cloudy skies for today. Yesterday afternoon, the sun broke out. It was warm. We had a high of 72 here at RDU. totally different today, and here's why. Yesterday, the front was to our north. All the warmth was coming underneath it. Today, that front is to our south, and the cold air is coming in. So it feels this morning not too far from where it should for this time of day, but we just won't warm up at all. It's 39 in South Hill, 46 in Durham, and 51 in Fayetteville. So we have a wide range in our temperature because that cold air to our northeast is just starting to filter in. So lunchtime, 47, this afternoon 48, and then we drop back into the mid-40s for it tonight. Now that front surges back to the north, bringing us that warmth for Saturday and Sunday. We'll see some cloud cover on Sunday as our next system, that next big weather maker, arrives. I'll show you when we could see rain back in the forecast.
But in the meantime, let's go ahead and show you what the roads look like outside. We're looking at I-440 near Glenwood Avenue as it's continuing to get more busy as the morning progresses. As I mentioned, people are returning gifts and such, so this will get slightly busier today, but it won't be as busy as yesterday. But should there become any travel spots that you need to know about in terms of delays or backups, we'll let you know. Just keep us tuned in on the radio while in your car, 101.5 HD3. And if you are driving to, of course, do anything post-Christmas, AAA says the national average on gas below $3. In Raleigh, you'll pay $2.76, Greensboro, $2.73, and in Charlotte, $2.60. All of these are averages, though. We're also watching airport travel right now, including at RDU, where you're looking live this morning. Right now, in terms of delays, we're seeing 2 of those. In terms of cancellations, just 9 at last check. Nationwide, there are more than 420 flights delayed. Last check, I believe there was more than 1,400 at one point. And it could actually go up as the weekend progresses. Count on WRAL to help you navigate holiday travel this week and into the new year. You can track the flight disruptions, traffic, and weather conditions through the WRAL News app. This morning, Durham crews faced challenges while tackling a very large vacant house fire on Alston Avenue. The division chief says they struggled to find working fire hydrants nearby, but eventually they found one they could pull water from. No one was hurt and no one was inside at last check, but we are working to find out the cause of that fire. A person is seriously hurt after a shooting in Wake County. This happened around 7 last night on Simpkins Road near Raleigh. It's near Lake Wheeler Road. And what you're looking at right now is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker showing law enforcement on scene. Wake County deputies found a man who was shot, but no word just yet on if there are any suspects or any arrests. We're also trying to learn new information about a crash in Nash County that killed a driver. The crash happened around 9:30 last night on US 264 East in Middlesex. That's near the Bailey exit. Highway Patrol says the driver lost control and then hit a median and then crashed into trees and even caught fire. Troopers are still trying to identify the victim. Today, friends and family members of former North Carolina Governor Jim Hunt will gather to remember him at his funeral. That funeral will be at First Presbyterian Church of Wilson this afternoon. Hunt served as governor of North Carolina from 1977 to 1985 and then from 93 to 2001. Some of his achievements include his focus on programs for the public schools. He also played a key role in expanding Research Triangle Park. A book of condolences is available for people to sign at the state capitol through next Friday. A Walmart in Wilson is reopening today after that shooting on Christmas Eve. The shooting happened after a fight broke out inside the store barbershop. Police say 3 people were involved. Bystanders got involved as well to help disarm one person, and there are no injuries reported. 19-year-old Ashton Pittman and 30-year-old Jordan Battle are facing attempted murder charges. Both are being held without bond and are due in court on Monday. Now, in the last 24 hours, first responders have gone to several house fires locally. 3 of them happened in Johnston County, including one that killed a father and son. This happened around 5 yesterday morning on Red Oak Drive. It's near Wilson's Mills. Officials say the fire left a 74-year-old man and his 53-year-old son dead. A woman identified as the son's stepmother managed to escape, and investigators are still trying to figure out how that fire started. Then you have the fire over in Clayton, one that burned up a family's garage. The fire started around 5:30 yesterday morning, and this was along Satinwood Drive. Everyone who was at home is okay, and we spoke with the family that lives there. They say things escalated quickly.
I opened the garage door and just smoke, thick smoke coming out. And you'd hear water pouring. I couldn't even see the fire through all the smoke.
He also told us the fire department was there within minutes. Another family member told us that the fire burned through a water line, and that led to water spraying everywhere, which actually helped put out the fire. The family says they're just fortunate they were able to spend time at Christmas at home. A home has some pretty significant damage after a fire in Chapel Hill. What you're seeing right here, this is the aftermath of a fire along Stone Ridge Drive yesterday. Not clear, though, if anyone was inside when it started. The siding of that home is warped, though, in several spots because of flames. WRAL is learning more about what led up to the Carytown manager being asked to resign. In an online post, Mayor Harold Weinbrecht says now former town manager Sean Stiegel went around council to make a large land purchase. Stiegel had the authority to spend up to $1 million before needing to go before the council. The mayor says Stiegel bought property that exceeded that value. However, he says Stiegel split it into 2 purchases to avoid crossing the threshold. Weinbrecht says he also initiated a review of Stiegel after learning the town spent more than $25,000 on a council member's tuition. But to be clear, Councilwoman Lori Bush repaid that money. Stiegel resigned earlier this month after he was put on leave, and the state auditor's office is reviewing this. A local man took it upon himself to save Christmas for people whose packages have otherwise been lost. This right here is video showing Colin Paragoy trying to stop a FedEx driver on Christmas Eve after more than a dozen packages reportedly fell from the truck. Almost a dozen of these packages were prescription medications. He contacted FedEx but was told that they could not be picked up until today at the earliest, but he knew he just could not wait that long.
Those packages were marked as, refrigerated, so I said, this ain't gonna work. And I posted a video on social media, and one of the comments said, if it's a FedEx shipping label, the phone number should be on that label.
He spent all evening trying to contact the phone numbers on the labels, and when people arrived to pick up their packages, they called it a Christmas miracle. Paragoy says that he only has 2 packages left and is hoping to find the rightful owner soon. Now, for many people, Christmas didn't feel much like winter. Temperatures climbed well above normal yesterday across central North Carolina. Climate scientists we spoke to say that holiday warmth like this, it's becoming more common. In the Triangle, the warming is even more pronounced. Temperature records showed winter averages have increased 5.6 degrees since 1970. The Triangle also now sees 17 more winter days above normal. Scientists also say cold snaps will still happen, but warmer winters mean fewer deep freezes, and the effects go far beyond what we wear.
This means our coldest days aren't as cold, and those deep winter freezes don't last as long.
I wish that weren't the case, because you know what that means, global warming, but trying to enjoy it while we're here.
And scientists say the trend is pointing toward fewer cold days, more warm ones, and more holidays that look like March instead of December. Your time is 8:38. We still have more news that we're following, including winter scam warnings. The Better Business Bureau says you need to watch out for potential red flags. How AI is making scams even more difficult to spot. Plus deadly weather out west. Dangerous storms sweeping across mountains and the West Coast. We'll get you a close look at the aftermath and how people are dealing with this. And grab your ticket, folks. We are still on the roller coaster of temperatures as we're giving you a look over at Franklin Street in Chapel Hill. I think it may have froze there a little bit. That's all right. It should get going in just a bit. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will track those big temperature swings coming up in just a bit.
(8:42), we take a live look at North Hills, which is likely to be a busy place, especially later on this morning. Notice the gray skies. We are seeing that all across the viewing area. Today is going to feel very different from yesterday. Yesterday we started off cool, but ended up with low 70s and some sunshine. This is what it's going to feel like for the rest of the day today. We're just going to hold it in the mid to upper 40s. It's 47 in Chapel Hill, 45 in Garner, 44 in Rollsville. So again, a good 25 degrees colder than our afternoon temperatures yesterday. You're doing some after Christmas shopping at 3 o'clock, 48, at 7 o'clock, 45. Again, just stays really chilly for us. Festival of Lights is on tonight at the DBAP. Again, temperatures will be in the mid 40s. It'll be cloudy, but we're not looking at any rain. The warmth comes right back for us. Look at that. Saturday, 68 degrees. I'll show you how long it stays.
Taking a look outside traffic-wise, we're taking a look at I-440 near Glenwood Avenue. Oh, yeah, this looks way busier than it was, obviously, a few hours ago, especially when we first started broadcasting at 4:30 a.m. over on WRAL. But if you're headed out there to take some gifts back to the store, maybe pick up something different you didn't quite like, don't worry. Just keep us tuned in on the radio. We'll let you know about any potential trouble spots. 101.5 HD3. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he plans to meet with President Donald Trump in the near future. And this is happening as Washington is trying to broker a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. In the latest round of negotiations, the U.S. and Ukraine made a plan to end the war, and this has been sent to Russia leadership. The plan would freeze the front line and then remove a requirement for Ukraine to legally renounce its bid to join NATO. Russian officials declined to comment on the specifics of that latest plan. Another victim from last month's deadly UPS plane crash in Louisville, Kentucky has died. That brings the number of people killed in the crash to 15. Now, Louisville's mayor announced that death of Elaine Rodriguez Calina, and this was on social media yesterday, announced the plane crashed shortly after taking off from Louisville Airport last month. The 3 pilots aboard and 12 people on the ground were killed, and a preliminary report from the NTSB said critical hardware that kept the left engine attached to that plane, it failed. A man accused of shooting a Franklin County deputy has now been charged formally. This person right here, Jermaine Branch, was transferred to Central State Prison in Raleigh, and he faces charges including attempted murder, assault on a government official, and possession of a stolen firearm. Investigators say Branch shot a deputy last week, and Sheriff Kevin White says if that deputy were not wearing a bulletproof vest, he likely would have died. The deputy was treated and then released from the hospital, and Branch was also hurt in that shooting. Scammers are looking for you to slip up as the year comes to an end, which is why the Better Business Bureau is warning you of potential scams. Travel scams specifically are going up. The BBB says some people are impersonating online airline ticket brokers and then calling back asking for more personal details, including your banking information. There's also been an increase in scams where you receive a package, you didn't order it, and there's no return address. But these are designed to trick you into scanning a QR code that could put malware on your phone. Listen to your friend Chris. Do not be out here scanning random QR codes. That's how you get hacked. AI has also made many fake sites look legit.
At some of these key details that we need to be watching for to make sure that we're not falling for a scam.
Recent surveys found nearly 9 out of 10 adults in the U.S. have experienced some type of scam. The BBB says it is important, though, that you shop at websites that you know are legit, and that way you can watch out for potential red flags. AAA says today will be one of the busiest travel days of the holidays as people are returning from their Christmas trips. We have Abby Cadlebar right there tracking the holiday rush. She's been hanging out that sheets near RDU. And what have you been? Oh, there goes Allie. Looks like she had a little issue there. That's okay, though. We are going to get back to her if we can in a little bit, but we do want to swing over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. She is that the notes after this there? No, we're going over to Hollywood Minute. There we go. A behind-the-scenes look with the actor behind the Stranger Things character, Vecna. Rick Damigella has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
It is time for a new world.
Jamie Campbell Bower, who portrays Vecna in Stranger Things, describes playing the big bad evil guy of the series.
I genuinely felt like I had a great, opportunity and a duty of care to this world and to the work that had already been put into it. And so, to play the big bad was never something that I never really saw. It was one that I didn't see, but it was never I was never conscious of being the bad guy. I just wanted to bring this character to life.
The final episode of Stranger Things premieres New Year's Eve.
You've brought all the wine out from the cellar.
Yes, Mom.
And closed the cellar hatch.
And in case you missed it in theaters, British farce Fackham Hall is out now on VOD. The film's director says it was a very fun film to make.
I'm not going to lie, we had a lot of fun. We had an awful lot of fun on set. I had a great bunch of actors who became like a little family. We were in the most beautiful locations. Knowsley Hall, which is home to the Earl of Derby, was our main setting. So it was a beautiful place to hang out and to film and to shoot.
Oh, well. He made it to 7. To London's oldest ever chimney sweep.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
All right, we are taking a look right now on what's next here in the show. Still time, though, to donate to our annual Coats for the Children drive. Last week, we brought our donation total to more than $136,000, but you can still donate coats to your local Jiffy Lube or even give by going to WRAL.com. We'll continue to take donations through Wednesday, December 31st. And you can make sure that every child has a coat to keep them warm this winter. Tomorrow night, Hockey for the Holidays is back on WRAL. You can watch the Carolina Hurricanes face off with the Detroit Red Wings. Puck drop at Lenovo Center is tomorrow night at 7 over on WRAL. Today marks the first day of Kwanzaa. That week-long celebration began back in 1966. It's a way for African Americans to reconnect with ancestral roots. Celebrated every year from December 26th to January 1st. A candle is lit every night on a 7-branch candelabra. Each day is dedicated to one of 7 principles: unity, self-determination, collective responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. There is still time for you to catch the Festival of Lights this year as we're giving you a live look at the DBAP. Tickets have been going fast with sellouts over the past few days. The attraction opens today after being closed for Christmas. Runs until January 3rd, and you can still buy tickets on our website. All right, check this out. Michigan State Troopers, they traveled a long way to surprise a child spending the holidays in the hospital battling cancer. 2-year-old Viola White was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in September. That was days before her 2nd birthday. And she has spent the last few months at a hospital more than 9 hours away from her home. 3 troopers drove about 600 miles to deliver gifts. We're talking more than 50 Christmas gifts from her community.
She's in a lot of pain for the most part, but surgery has been set to remove the tumor in her stomach.
I couldn't imagine the hopelessness, the overwhelming stress, the fear. I felt compelled, along with the other troopers at my post and my lieutenant, to get together and to do something.
Oh, hi, baby girl. Saw her wave. Viola's family says that she'll open her gifts today when she's joined by her whole family, and she hasn't seen some of them since September. Well, storms are sweeping across California, bringing blankets of snow and even dangerous flooding. Several feet of snow fell in Sierra Nevada and is expected to continue through the day. Many cars were unable to travel, though, through the mountains. Along the coast, flooding from that storm, it killed at least 2 people, according to local authorities. The deadly waters caused mud and ruck slides, even downed trees and power lines. California's governor declared a state of emergency in several counties, including L.A. And the deal is, yes, there are going to be some places in California still affected by this as people were out taking their kayaks out on the road. What you're seeing here is video of people kayaking on the streets near Sacramento. This looks really bad, Elizabeth, obviously, and that system is headed this way, but the effects of it, it's going to really be weakened by the time it comes here.
It's got to cross the entire country before it gets here, and it will definitely lose a lot of moisture on the way. But boy, causing so much trouble there in California. What we're going to end up seeing today is much cooler temperatures than yesterday. We're going to see a front sort of wobbling back and forth over us for the next couple of days. Yesterday, the front was to our north, so all that warm air came up under it. Today, that front is south of us, so the cold air comes in. And then we'll reverse that again tomorrow. So cool today with 40s this afternoon, but back to upper 60s tomorrow. And then the next big front, our next weather maker, comes in on Monday. It'll be windy and warm, and then we'll see rain in the afternoon and evening. So we'll go through all of that. Taking a look at Pinehurst, it doesn't ever seem to matter what kind of weather there is. Now, maybe there wasn't anybody on the golf course yesterday, but I figured there had to be a few. And yep, there are a few out there, even though temperatures are chilly and it is gray. If you're going to be out this afternoon on the bicycles or, for a walk in the neighborhood, again, it's going to feel so much colder than yesterday. At noon, 47, 4 o'clock, 48 degrees, and then we'll hold it in the mid-40s overnight. Tomorrow, that warm air starts to surge back in, but then we'll be tracking this front that comes through late on Monday, and behind it, we get a blast of colder air. So we're talking about temperatures below freezing overnight for most of the mornings next week. Here's a look at that weather roller coaster for us. Our normal high is 53. We'll feel like 40s this afternoon, but 68 tomorrow, 60 Sunday, 65 Monday, and then 45 on Tuesday. And you may say, wow, that's just crazy, but that's really normal for this time of year. It tends to be a very active weather pattern for us for most of the fall, winter, and spring, and that brings us variable temperatures. Our normal low is 33, and we will be below that for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday mornings. Of course, we're looking forward to the big holiday, New Year's Eve. Right now, it looks like it'll be nice and dry if you're headed out to first night. Temperatures at ball drop likely to be in the mid to upper 30s.
Thank you for looking into that for us, Elizabeth. And before we go, here's a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers with a check on traffic coming up in just a few minutes.